Okay, you should be ready to go when you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'll call this meeting to order at 10:03 a.m. I will read the land acknowledgement. The city of Thorold is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattawanduruk, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the First Credit Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The city of Thorold stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. I'll go to item 3 now. Are there any declarations of interest? Okay, seeing none. Item 4, adoption of the agenda. Before I get a mover on that, there's an amendment that has to be done, and that's under committee business. We'll need to have a motion to receive this report before the report is actually presented. So can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt the amendment?
So just proceed. We don't need to amend that. That's just something that's added. It doesn't have to be formally on the agenda. That's okay.
Okay. Oh, so you've already, okay.
Yeah, that's no need to amend or anything. That's okay.
Okay, thanks, Justin. Okay, so can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda? Okay, moved by Leslie and seconded by Councillor O'Hare. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any, and that is carried. So now I'm going to go to item 5, committee business. This is the environmental impact study for the Beaver Dams Road Park. It was originally going to be presented by Sean Dunsmore last week, but we have Abu Rashid instead that's going to be the presentation. So Abu, you can start the presentation and welcome.
And sorry, Mr. Chair, if we can just hit the mover and seconder first to receive the report, then we'll get into all the talk about it. That's okay.
Okay. Can I get a mover and a seconder to receive the report? Moved by Councillor O'Hare, seconded by Mark Freeman. All those in favor?
And then we'll vote at the end when we're done. We're just accepting, and then we'll vote at the end once, in case there's anything else we want to add or anything like that.
Okay, this is we're always learning about how this system works.
I know it's just some more procedures to do. There we go.
Transparency and clarity. And okay. Can we get Abu to do the presentation now?
Okay. I did not prepare any formal presentation. I hope that you guys are able to read the EIS document. I can quickly go over with the mitigation measures the EIS document proposed. And maybe we can discuss further, if you guys have any comments and did we able to accommodate those on our design, and we can discuss further. Is that good? Huh?
Sure.
Okay.
I suppose everybody's had a look at the report. I did see what the mitigation measures were that were going to be undertaken. Is there any comments or questions that we can start the discussion with?
Okay. So you want to so our goal is to start the project sooner, So right now we are expecting a recommendation from this committee so that we can go ahead and start the construction. We already have the council approval, and we already hire a contractor. So like I said, the mitigation measures, what they proposed in EIS, we already accommodate those in our design, and some of this will be followed through in our construction process. So if this committee have any concern or want to discuss any item, I can certainly try to address those.
Okay, if I can raise one question. Now, when we're dealing with the parking lot, is this going to be a permeable type surface that's going to be applied? One that's going to allow for drainage?
Yeah, mostly we are proposing mostly gravel areas. Only a small portion of this will be asphalt parking. So considering this small area, we do not see any like a significant change in drainage. Our goal is right now to just capture those and divert it to the road and ditch area. So that's how we like to do it. In the future, if we extend it like a more bigger parking lot, then we can think about it, putting some gas basins and an oil grid separator, doing some quality and quantity control.
Okay. Linda, you have a question.
Yeah, a dog park is meant for dogs to run leash free within the area. And we're just wondering if there would be any benches or seating area for people for people who have their dogs there running leash free to actually rest and wait for them to return.
Yes, we do have a few benches proposed in this design. I can.
5 of them?
Sorry?
For now? 5 of them for
Yes.
now?
Yes. So I can share my screen. Maybe this will be easier to.
Yeah, it looks like there's several.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
So these are the benches we have proposed. 1, 2, 3,
No. Okay.
4, 5. 5 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, if I look at this design correctly, the significant wetland area in this area would be fenced off and protected against the dogs getting into it and getting all wet and all that stuff.
Yes, so we are very close to the provincially significant wetland. We discussed this with the conservation authority, and we made their requirements. They had a little bit of concern about this fencing, so we moved this one a little bit farther away from the significant wetland.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, I see. Who had their hand up first? Was it Councillor O'Hara or Mark? Okay, Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. I have a couple questions. I'll ask one now, and then I'll come back after Councillor O'Hara and ask another. The first question has to do with the document itself. All the way through the document, it referred to some wooded area and consistently said that the wooded area would not be harmed in any way. But then at the very end of the document, in the recommendations, it talks about how to remove trees. So I don't understand why we're talking about how to remove trees when none of the wooded area is being affected.
Good question.
I guess
I apologize. I don't have the specific area in the document. It's been 10 days since I read it.
I guess I think the document is referring that the process of if we need to remove any trees, we should do in a specific time frame identified by the conservation authority. But as far as our design concern, we are not removing any significant trees.
Okay, so it's more of a general.
Yes.
A general guideline for it. Hey, if a tree had to be removed, we're going to follow these guidelines. But
right.
The intent is not to remove any.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go with Councillor O'Hara.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, I'll just reiterate that too for Mark. They did not talk about removal of any of the trees in the wooded area, so that's separate. It's where the construction area will be. So that's just a brief little addition there. I have 3 questions. I read the EIS as well. It's very thorough, very good. I'm very pleased with it as well. It mentions in the past that we have previously cut grass in that area. This might be a question for Dave Baldoni as well. So I'm wondering, can we not cut the grass, completely let it go natural and become a meadow? So that's the first question.
Mhm.
And perhaps Dave, you might be able to answer that one.
Okay. Dave Baldoni, can you comment on that?
Morning, everyone. Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. That's certainly an option we can look towards. I think a lot of the concern from residents, and being myself a dog owner, would be the opportunity for more ticks. Not that we would mitigate ticks altogether by cutting the grass. It's the onset of the additional amount of ticks that could create the problem with people coming to a dog park. So outside the perimeter of the proposed dog park, we have a 1 meter or a 3 meter 9 foot area that we promised the NPCA that we would cut, and nothing larger than that outside the perimeter. Depending on what the growth is inside the area, we could look at possible keeping the grass a bit longer. I don't know. I think that would come with comments from residents or dog park users.
Freeze too.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Okay. Did I understand correctly, Dave, that the NPCA wanted you to cut the grass on the other side, or is that simply the agreement between the city and the NPCA?
Yeah. So through you, they didn't want the grass cut at all. They wanted a buffer along the perimeter of the fence, and that was it. It was just for emergency maintenance vehicles in case somebody had to get out there with an ambulance, things of that nature. When we met the NPCA on site, there was a formalized area where that could take place.
Yeah. Okay. And I guess bottom line is we can monitor it and see how the growth is. Obviously, if it's nothing significant, then perhaps we can let it grow naturally. So I understand that you're going to need to want to have an access point, but yeah, as I say, maybe we can monitor it and it won't cause any difficulty getting in there after all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have two other questions. I'm just curious about the height of the fence. It's a chain link fence that's going to be surrounding the areas, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. And what is the height of those, Abu?
We are proposing 1.5 meter height chain link fence.
Okay. And is that
6 feet.
1.3?
1.5 meter. Is
Yeah.
in feet is on almost 5 feet.
Okay. And is that necessary to ensure that dogs don't jump over the fence? Is that the reason why the added height?
Yeah, that's the right.
Okay, fair enough. And I don't know if this last question is related at all, but we talked about signage in council a little bit. Is that part of this discussion, or do we leave that for another time? I'm not sure.
No, we can discuss here.
Okay. Has the signage been determined? What will be put up at the park?
I think we are still on the process to prepare the signage. I think we are looking through the requirements. What size of the size is required.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And one very short final one. Will there be signs as well to restrict overnight parking? We don't want to have this fill up with cars and then the residents that want to use the park aren't able to go in there.
Yeah, of course. Through Mr. Chair, we can add another signage that overnight parking is not allowed.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councillor O'Hare. Linda, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I just had a question. Should any trees be removed? Is there a part in the plan where they would be replaced?
Through Mr. Chair, we are proposing lots of trees in the proposed work. You know, you can see this plan. These are all the trees we are proposing.
Yes, I've looked at the pictures and I'm glad to see the trees there.
Yeah.
But if there's a loss, for example, if there's a tree that dies and you have to take it out, is there a plan to replace that? To
Yeah.
replant, so that we don't really lose any trees, and to replant a tree, not with just a very small sapling, but a reasonable height tree.
Yeah, through Mr. Chair. So the proposed trees will be covered by the contractor who is supplying it. And also we can replace this through our operational maintenance budget if in the future, after it's happened after the warranty period.
And I'm assuming that these would be trees native to Canada,
Yes.
not something from outside.
No, it's
Okay.
all native. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Linda. I'm going to go with Mark now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of questions. The first one is on lighting. I did read something about lighting and trying to angle the lights or deflect the light in a certain way as to not disrupt pollinators and migrating birds, etc. I have a question about, is the lighting expected to be on 24 hours a day? Or can it be turned off at some point during the night?
Through Mr. Chair, yes. So it will be controlled with a timer, and it is a solar panel system. So it will not be 24/7.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
My next question is a bit more involved in terms of the actual construction or landscaping, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So I see the document has clearly identified the area of the finished product, so to speak, where the park is going to be and what it's going to look like at the end of the day, right? And I understand there's a setback from the significant wetland and forested areas. That's all great. How are we going to ensure that during the construction phase, these areas are not affected? I know that it's typical for construction to have a staging area. They're going to want to put ground somewhere. They're going to want to put gravel somewhere. They're going to want to put their fences somewhere. So how is it being ensured that that isn't going to be in an area that is not designated for the end purpose of the park?
Yeah. So first of all, through Mr. Chair, we will be doing a seal fence along the perimeter of the construction area. So seal fence will be going throughout this all over the perimeter of this construction area. So that's how initially we will delineate the construction area so that even any extra rainfall happens, so it not go to the wetland or existing streams, you know. And then secondly, through our construction management, we will make sure that any storage of the material or construction will not go beyond the park limit, which is showing there. You know, we have enough area to store if they need to store anything. So we'll make sure that they don't go beyond the footprint of this park and close to the wetland area.
Thanks. So there's a silt fence. I understand that. So I didn't quite understand what you said, though. There is an area for staging, you said, or?
Yeah. So I'm saying that we have a big area, so we do not need to go beyond this footprint of this park area. So if we need to store many material, we will be doing within this footprint area. So
Okay,
we will not go beyond that.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I have a couple of questions, and one I'm looking at is these pedestrian gates that are in an area between the parking lot and the large dog area. Are those gates that are going to be closed at night to prevent people from going into the park? I mean, Councillor O'Hara raised the issue of the parking lot at night with where we may have people wanting to go in there and you know, a little bit of partying or whatever. So the dog park itself, will it be closed to public accessibility at the end of the day?
Yeah, through Mr. Chair, we can discuss a little more about the operation of this park and make an exact timing when it will be closed. But it is the lock system will be available to lock it the gate.
Okay, good. My second question relates to in the same area, in the parking area, the waste bin and dog bag dispensers. Um, is this something that the city maintenance people are going to be taking care of, or I mean, there's going to be a large volume of dog feces that's going to be produced because it's such a concentrated area, and maintenance of it is going to be very important given the environmental effects and health effects that feces provides on the ground. So is there, I mean, I can see the potential that if there's a service contractor going to be dealing with the disposal of the dog waste, that we may want to look at the other parks within the city and develop a program that this could be a pilot type project that would lead to better maintenance of the dog waste in the other parks.
Yeah, through Mr. Chair, I will let Dave might be a better person to answer this about the waste management.
Thank you to you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, that will be something that will be handled by city staff. We will maintain the garbage in the area. It'll be put onto our regular routine garbage route, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. We'll monitor it, see how the usage goes. If we need to do it Monday through Friday, it'll take place then. We don't know what the actual use of the park is going to be until we build it.
I understand. Yeah, this could be something that, you know, you can collect some data, and like I said, maybe we could set up something in the other parks. I know we really lack a lot of signage, and I think that the signage shouldn't just say that you know, there's a bylaw and there's a fine if you don't scoop and scoop. But I think we should have signage that points out the environmental and health effects that dog poop provides, because you have children going into the parks and some of them are rolling around on the ground, and I think we need to see a little bit more responsibility on the people to clean up, because we see a lot of it on the ground that's not picked up, and I think this is an opportunity to gauge how much is being produced and how much is not actually being collected and compare the two.
To you, Mr. Chair, great suggestion. Hopefully this park will set that standard where we can actually monitor it, you know, hold people accountable, and hopefully the people that use the regular passive parks can come to this park and you know, get some of that feces out of our regular playing fields and off our baseball diamonds and soccer fields. So this would be a great, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Councillor O'Hara?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a comment. I just want to say that after having read the EIS, it seems very thorough. I'm quite pleased with it. There's so many different aspects that were studied, looked at, and decided upon how to move forward on this. And I'm really pleased that the city went ahead and made certain to get this done. I'll leave you with one of the last sentences that was in the EIS, and that is the park will not be affected or impact, the park will not affect or impact the ecological or hydrological functions of the wetlands. So that was really, for me, a game winner. So I'm very pleased that we have such a thorough report, and I think that in all cases like this in the future, we do need to request them. So that's the comment I wanted to make. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hare, and I concur on that. This is a great design. There's been a lot of work that's gone into it. There was really very little feedback and input from the residents, but that's typical of PICs. But at least we've had an opportunity to put forward our concerns, and an EIS has been done. So this will end up on the city website, so people can see the original plan. They can see the EIS that was done. All questions are answered. There was great questions that were asked amongst the committee members here. They were answered. There's still an opportunity for a little bit more input going forward, which is great. So I'm gonna suggest that, Justin, do we vote on accepting this report now? Is this the time?
Yeah, if there's no more discussion or questions right now, the motion is that the environmental impact study for Beaver Dams Road Dog Park be received for information.
Okay.
That's where we're at right now.
Any more discussion on this? Okay, then I will ask for a motion and a seconder.
Sorry, we already have the motion second. We just need to vote.
Oh, right, we just, yeah. Can I have a seconder on the accepting this report? Okay, Linda, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed, if any? Seeing none, that's carried. Very good. And seeing as that was the only item on our agenda, our next meeting will be held on March 1st. We'll see you then. Enjoy your weekend, and thank you, everybody.